Very good. So I invite you to be here for God and to close your eyes if that's what you would like to do. As we move into a prayerful mode, I am very glad to be here, and I sang that song yesterday, not less than 24 hours ago. It's a wonderful song to get into this space. What I know is whether I'm singing or whether I'm speaking, whether I'm standing, running, or sitting, that Spirit is always present all the way around me and is that powerful one. It is the one that I know. It is the one that I trust. And it is the one that delivers me everything that I need. Whatever I speak into, this wonderful atmosphere of Spirit is heard, is understood, and I am responded to. So what I know is as these moments move through this glorious service, that the ideas that come through music, conversations, the message is absolutely tailored just for me. And I hear it, I understand it, and I move through and live that idea that I am crafting for myself. I am so incredibly grateful to know that Spirit responds to me, responds to my thought, responds to everything, and allows me to be in such divine ways. And so I let this message go forth, knowing it's already done, and I say, and so it is. And so now we are going to have some wonderful announcements. And yes, there's a change in your program. The lovely Katie is going to be delivering them today. Thank you, Katie.
Good morning to my Redondo Beach Center for Spiritual Living family here in the sanctuary and also on our YouTube channel. Today's speaker is our interim senior minister, Reverend Catherine McKinney. And today is also our annual meeting for members at 12:30 p.m. After service, join us in Richelieu Hall for a slice of French toast casserole to fortify you for this exhilarating meeting. As we look to what's happening this week, reminder to you all that just like the very funny Head and Shoulders TV commercial out there with NFL giants Troy Polamalu and Patrick Mahomes, we at CSL are never not working. Never not working. Here's what's happening this week. Tomorrow, Monday, October 17th, the men's group meets in the foyer of the sanctuary at 7 p.m. Tuesday, the 18th at 10 a.m. is Reverend Kathy Sinfield's book discussion, Giving God a Good Time. Please check your program for more details. Also, Tuesday the 18th, yoga class meets at Richelieu Hall at 11 a.m. Get your spiritual warrior pose on for just $10 and bring your mat. Wednesday the 19th, never not working. We start with a book reading on Zoom at 9:45 a.m. It's called Learn to Live by Irvin Seal. Email the office for a Zoom link. Also on Wednesday morning, our midweek inspirational services at 11 a.m., both here and on our YouTube channel. Our speaker is Reverend Catherine. As we look toward next weekend, on Saturday, there's a Science of Mind class called Revealing Wholeness, and that's taught by Reverend Mary Morgan. This class explores the practical and healing applications of Science of Mind principles for everyday living, and it references the book Mind Over Medicine. This class is from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Again, this is Saturday, and there's a flyer in the foyer. A week from today, on Sunday, October 23rd, we invite you to join us for a volunteer leadership workshop. This is going to be led by Reverend Valerie. It's from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. Right now, we need everyone's help, and this meeting will anchor us on how to be spiritual ambassadors for this center. For example, the tech crew needs camera operators to stand during Sunday and Wednesday services and support Grant, our director there in the back. We'll answer all your questions about receiving training for the tech crew and many other opportunities here, like the bookstore, garden club, greeters, hospitality. We're even talking about putting together a marketing club. So much more, you guys. If you want to have an impact here, show up next Sunday, the 23rd, and say yes to joining us in light and love of our center. And then we're all going to head to the drum circle where Ruth is hosting. Later this month, we're also hosting a Halloween event on Sunday the 30th at 12:30 p.m. We'll have a school-age children's costume contest and other games and food. We need support for this too. And in support of all this, we take a moment to remind you that there are several ways you can donate to our center. You can sign up for Amazon Smile, naming the center as a beneficiary, and we thank you for that. That's super easy to do. A reminder, Dial a Prayer is 310-540-5242, and new prayers are posted every Wednesday. And now, let's please welcome a New Thought singer and songwriter. He's performed all over the world, including solos at the Vatican and Sydney Opera House. He's also been on stage in musicals like Jesus Christ Superstar and Sweeney Todd. Let's please welcome Mr. Dennis Bryan.
My goodness, such a build-up. I forgot about my bio. You guys all know me. You don't need to hear my bio.
Are you impressed with yourself?
Yeah. Well, it was really fun, and if you don't mind me saying, I was singing with a choir at Cypress College, and they went on a choir tour, and that's how I got to sing all over the world, so I'm very grateful for that opportunity. I did sing in one of the services in the Vatican, had a little solo, and I did this masquerade at Sydney Opera House, so it wasn't opera, but it was, yeah, it was me, so that was fun. So we're going to do a little tune, and Andy's going to help me with it. It's by my friend Michael Gott. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's called All That I Need. You need a little rhythm with this one. Yeah, help me out. Snap your fingers, clap your hands. Always a pleasure to play with Andy. The guy can play anything. All that I need comes to me. Can you sing that with me, Andy? All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. Now I've been set free. I've been set free. I'm released. I've been set free. I'm released. The burdens of my past have gone away at last. I've been set free. I'm released. Let's kick that up a notch. How about a half step? Sweet rain that washes me clean. Sweet rain that washes me clean. The mind creates all things, into my life it brings. Sweet rain that washes me clean. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. The light of love and grace shines upon my face. All that I need comes to me. Can you guys sing that out there?
All that I need comes to me.
Let's hear that again.
All that I need comes to me.
Isn't that right? One more time.
All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. All that I need comes to me. Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Good morning. That was so good. My name is Valerie Reeves. I am Executive Director here, new to the center. Very excited to be here. Today I'm doing a mini lesson. It says the Science of Mind lesson, so I'm going to feel like a teacher here. So class, come to order, and let's get excited about the topic today. It's fun with money, and so I went to my favorite book, which is this thing called You, and opened a page, and it just happened to be right there. Today I recognize the abundance of life. I animate everything in my experience with this idea. So I actually looked up the word animate because it's like, to me, it's like, oh, let's make it big. And that's basically what it is. Let's make it big and exciting. I get excited about money. And I was thinking about, when is the last time I played with money? And of course, there's Monopoly games, so I stole some money out of the Monopoly game back there. I took Monopoly money out of a game in 2008. I was on the game show Deal or No Deal. Howie Mandel, I was on it, and I always do easy questions, deal or no deal? No deal until it got down to just a couple of cases left, if you've seen the game show, and I finally made a deal at $27,000. If I'd have held out for one more case, it would have been $88,000, but you just never know. So my psychic ability said 27 will be fine. So if you've ever been on a game show, you know that you have to wait 90 days after the show airs before they actually send you the money, and they do send all of it. And so I was playing with the money. It's like, okay, I'm going to put this much here, and this much here, and this much here, but I knew it was all play money, and it was just unexpected income, so I got to do whatever I wanted to with it. And even though I had all my little stacks of this will go here, and this will go here, and this will go here, I didn't do any of that. So I'm excited to hear about playing with money and having fun with money, because it's one of my favorite things. So let's have a great day. Thank you.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes our prayer.
And what I know is as the notes die away, that the message stays with me. My thoughts are prayers, and I do take charge of what I'm saying. And I know that God is always there. I am so grateful for that idea. And so I breathe in and know that all good is simply coming to me. And so it is. I love that song because I love that idea. But I also love the fact that you can have fun with money. And so yesterday, I thought it was interesting that Valerie talked about it, a game show and playing games with money, because that's what I want to do right now. But a little bit of preface. I talked a few weeks ago about a man who was having fun with money, but he didn't start out doing that. He started out knowing that he just wanted to be happy. And he recognized that as he found money on the ground or wadded up in a pocket, that it made him feel good. So what he decided is that when he found money, he was going to take a moment and just be grateful. And so he did that. And he discovered that the more he did that, the more money he found. So then he had the idea, well, I think I'm going to start leaving money around. And he did. And then he discovered he found even more money. And his original idea was just to increase his happiness, and he discovered that it did. That story resonated with me so much that it comes into much of what I want to talk about today, about what we do and how we resonate with money. So we're going to play a little game. And I have asked my lovely assistant, Reverend Valerie Reeves, to assist me. And if you could just come all the way right there in the middle so you can see everyone really well, I'm going to ask a few questions. The first question I want to know is, who stayed up to the bitter end to watch the Dodgers ball game last night? So Reverend Valerie decides whose hand goes up first. Just give her the envelope. The next question is, who in this room dropped a child off at our child care across the way? Nobody did. Do I get to keep that money? So the next question is, who went to the farmer's market yesterday? There's one. Oh, you saw this one first, yes. Oh, you saw that one? Yes, you saw it. You're the one that sees it. Who went to the farmer's market yesterday? So then the third question, because I had to have a backup in case there was no answer to one. What is my question? It was a stand-in question. Okay, how many people, who is it that gave someone a ride to church today? There we go. Thank you, Reverend Valerie. Now, this is not Monopoly money that's in there, and it is a prize for just playing in the game. It's not $27,000 either. And so that is one of the things I did. Well, I went to the farmer's market yesterday morning. And I did it because I was going to practice what the gentleman in the story did. I was going to drop some money. I thought it would be a good place to do that. So I dropped some money. And the first time I did something like that, somebody behind me goes, oh, you dropped this. I went, oh, maybe that's not a good idea here. I think the man in the story kind of did it on sidewalks when not so many people are around. So I thought, okay, I'll think of something else. So I had some bills, some folding money, and I wandered over. And if you go to the farmer's market, then you know they have tasting things, little closed things, and you can get a piece of a plum or an apple or whatever it is you want to sample. And so I reached down and I got a sample, and while I was doing it, I tucked the money underneath. I did that a couple of times, and I noticed there was a man watching, and I think he was suspicious. So I thought, okay, I don't need to do that either. So my original plan wasn't working out. I didn't need to call attention to myself and have someone come over and say, what are you doing? So I decided, as I bought stuff at the farmer's market, they'd tell me how much I owed, and I gave them extra money. And that's what I did. I had this whole stash of money that I planned to give away, and that's what I did. I paid extra for everything I got, and it's amazing. It doesn't have to be more than $1. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And so the one thing I didn't like about it is that, I mean, I loved seeing people be excited, but I wanted to do it anonymously, so I didn't get to do that, but I did get to see their joy, which is actually part of what I'm talking about. Money is a thing, and it is a consciousness, and it is a lot of things. But I don't know if you all grew up with a prosperity consciousness, but I know that I did not. And my husband did not either. But we had an idea somewhere along the line that something could be better. And both of my children do not have that consciousness that we had. And part of the reason is they grew up in science of mind. And they learned early on. They don't say things like, I don't have enough money to do that. They say, it's not in my budget. It's a different consciousness. The idea being I'm making a choice about what I choose to spend my money on. Way different from I don't have enough. We don't want to keep saying things like that if that's not what we want. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. The consciousness around money and prosperity is merely that awareness that we have, that attitude about money or anything, prosperity or even poverty. Of all of that, what are ideas? And see, in the history of Christianity, poverty was celebrated. The poor man who did all of these things. And the truth of the matter is, the patriarchs of the Bible were rich people. And they gave away money. They more than tithed. Jesus was a very well-off man. He had a seamless robe, you will read. And that's the mark of a wealthy person. He had the means to go out and do what he needed to do, what he was called to do. He didn't have to worry about where his livelihood was coming from. So how this poverty consciousness came to be ingrained in the way I was brought up, we don't have enough money to do this. Churches will say that. And many do. And what are we doing when we say that about ourselves, about an organization, about anything? I don't have enough. We are taught that we always have everything we need. And when we understand that and we bring that into our consciousness, it becomes what we have. And we may be surprised at the ways in which it manifests. In my early years in this center, I didn't begin with the right consciousness as I judge it now. And I learned I think my desire was such that I brought opportunities to myself in order to demonstrate. I started buying things for people. They were not big ticket items, but you see, that didn't matter. It mattered that you're able to give this, and I get the joy as well as seeing the joy on someone else's face. And do you understand how powerful that is? To have that feeling that you have done something and you just keep doing it. So if somebody said they needed something, I found it. I found some and I could present that. I've even done it for the church. I'm in the kitchen all the time and I'm going, I bought that, I bought that. Many things, because I could and I did and I had that energy around doing that. And as a consequence, I have personally become more prosperous. It's in my consciousness more and more. Now, does that mean that I never have that feeling? That's not true. I'm still walking on this earth, so I got some things that I can yet do. But it does mean that I hear what I'm saying so that I can make that adjustment and go, that's not what I mean. And when there's something, I'm thinking of something in my house that I want to do, and the truth of the matter is, and I was thinking this morning, it's not lacking the cash, it's lacking the time to get to it. But you see, prosperity of time is the same consciousness as prosperity of money. There's always enough time. We all have the same amount. And how we choose to characterize it is the real choice we have. So what I adjusted my thought, we're talking a couple of hours ago too, I am making choices about how I spend my time that don't include this renovation. Then I'm making a choice which is way different than I don't have enough. And so it's different to me. So I invite you to think about it that way and think of money in that consciousness sense about what you have. Now, another thing that money is, it's a thing, as in it's a physical thing, whether it's cash or your checking account or investments. It is a thing. And as a thing, it's all spiritual. It is a spiritual thing, but it is an effect. It is effect of how you think about it. It's an effect of the consciousness around that. Just as if there is a law, and the law is cause and effect, even though we specialize that law by saying the law of circulation or the law of attraction. But it is cause and effect. And the cause, our thoughts or prayers, the cause is our consciousness and how we think about it. And one of the things that's true, and as I was thinking through this and thinking through my own upbringing, as much as I've moved beyond much of the way I think of it, I have to recognize that some beliefs are very deep-seated and they can rise occasionally. And that gives me the opportunity to simply reform it and to think about it differently. But at any point, we know that things come up that we can't change right then, that we can't do, but we can choose how we think about it all the time. So money is a thing. It is an effect. It is the result of how we choose to think about it, ultimately. And so I also want to mention too, and this is something that I think that is, I don't know, maybe widespread. Money is not like a pie in that there's only so many pieces of pie. It's not like that. We are taught that there is, the table of life is overflowing and it's continuously resupplied. There is always enough. Because I have something, it doesn't mean that you can't. And that's a consciousness thing. Money isn't a pie. It is part of a chart that just is endlessly going. In math, you talk about having the algorithm go on to infinity. And that's what it does. It is It is a wonderful way to use if you're showing how, let's say, and I've used one in financial meetings, a pie chart for how we spend money or how money comes to the church. Not how much we're going to have, but for every dollar that comes in, what portion of it goes to salaries or what portion goes to any number of things that we do. You can do a pie chart to explain that. And we like to do that sometimes because that's a real graphic way of looking at it. But when you're looking at your supply, it's not a fixed thing. And that's the important thing to remember. It is open at the top, just as this building is. And it is coming and it is flowing. I like thinking about this, and I remember I did share a story a few weeks ago about someone that I know who had an attitude about certain money that had come to them. And it was because there was a judgment associated with it. See, when you depend on your income from other people, and that's the nature of your work, you can have ideas about people who give you poor tips if you're a table server, or other ways in which to do it. They ignore you. You can feel less than, I wasn't good enough, or you can feel you can use words to describe them, as opposed to trying to make yourself feel better about not having enough. And this person chose instead to take those bits of money that he thought were small and that were making this person not feel good, make them not feel good, and put them all in a bucket, not count them, not do anything with it, crumpled up dollar bills, and put them in this bucket. And at some point, there was a full bucket, counted the bucket, and they did something fun. It's like Reverend Valerie was saying about the fun money, unexpected income, and that's what it became, having fun. And that transformed the way they felt about that particular, even though they continued to come in that way, it transformed the way they thought about it. So there are many things we can do to transform what we think about things. I used several stories today, and I bet this room is full of people who can come up with ways to do that for yourselves, because it's kind of a self-improvement project. It's something that you do for yourself. And so I'm going to close because I want everyone to have time to maybe get something to eat and come back for that annual meeting now, because this is important. And I want to close with something that happened to me today, this morning, actually. And I said that I had a fixed amount of money that I took out of the bank and took it out in various denominations so I could give it away. And this morning, I was going through a jacket pocket, and I found a check for the exact amount of money. So what I said to myself is, it works. It works. And it's all consciousness. And I hope that there is something in there that tickles you in a way that you come up with better ideas than I've come up with. I'm eager to have you share those things. So let's close as I invite you to repeat after me. The Creator is an all-powerful giver. I receive the bounty of creation. Good is always flowing through me. And I take time every day to invite more good into my life experience. I am so, so grateful for all I have. And I know there is no top, no lid to my good. And so it is. The ushers are coming down, and I have a short message today from someone. This is in response to our mission statement, and that's what we're here to do, which is to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve. And we say that because we need to fix the lights, and we need to even resurface the parking lot, but we are here to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the lives of all we serve, and this is a message. I want to say how much I enjoy the Wednesday service. There are sometimes responses, thoughtful responses at the end, or questions from the audience that just add to the message of the service. Thank you for keeping this tradition. Thank you. Thank you very much. And we will say our blessing when it comes up there. Yes, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good, and I release my gift with love. And so it is.
This song came to me thinking about the talk because all that we have is right here, right now, in this very moment, right? I mean, and we go on this journey, this life's journey, and it's fun and crazy and abundant and prosperous, but it all starts with this very moment. So this is called Starting Here, Starting Now. Starting here, starting now. When we walk, we'll walk together, year by year. Starting here, starting now. We will say the most with silence when we're near. Starting here, now when you sleep, you will dream a dream that's free from care. For now, when you wake, I'll be there. So be still, take my hand for the greatest journey Spirit can allow. Starting low, starting here, starting now. Care for now when you wake up.
So be still, take my hand for the greatest journey Spirit can allow. Starting love, starting here, starting now.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And Andy, thank you for playing for me. You're amazing.
Appreciate. Oh, it's just magnificent. And I too want to thank Andy for being this keyboardist. And yes, it's wonderful. I want to also mention a story that I didn't include earlier, but it was such a cool story. One of the things that happened recently is that someone from another state from far away came and enjoyed hospitality. And she was flat out of money at the cash, really. And so she didn't leave anything in the donation thing. So she came to the counter and she got the address of the center, the street address, and she mailed us a check following because she wanted to honor the service and the fellowship and all that stuff. And I wish that I could have applauded that idea. This is someone who has that consciousness of giving and receiving and giving and receiving. And I celebrate that. I think that's wonderful. I wanted to also share with you that we had another Dr. Moira sighting this past week. It was Thursday afternoon, I think. I've sort of lost track. And she was here for quite a while, and we talked, and she came back, and I was working in the back part on things for the annual meeting, and she said something to me, "Are you working for the annual meeting?" And I said, "Yes." And we talked about other things. And this is such a vintage Dr. Moira thing. Before she left, she came up to me and said, "I left a little something sweet in your chair." Because that is what Dr. Moira does. She gives things away too, and has done it for a very, very long time. So I thought it was so appropriate for Fun with Money, because I think she has that. And so, yes, it's a celebration thing. I love that. I love that about Dr. Moira. But the message that I have today is actually from Sue Rubin. Sue Rubin is very, very sad that she's not here today. She was originally going to speak on October the 16th, and she was coming to be a prayerful support at our annual meeting. And due to her accident, she was not able to do that. And so she got in touch with me last night, and she said, "I know that everything is working together in a unifying pattern of cohesiveness, harmony, unity, solidarity, and expansive." And she said, "If you need me, I am there in prayer." And then she goes on to say that I know that you all go in the glow and in the flow of knowing that God is, I am. And that is Dr. Sue Rubin's consciousness. So let us come together and bless everyone that we know, including ourselves, the world, everything, as we share this blessing. I know divine love enfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me. And divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a passionate world that works for all. I move through my days in grace and ease, in peace and love, in health and wellness, in fullness and plenty, and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God. There is only God. There is only God. So let's rise for the peace song.